This is a mystery. I have a plot here that's in heavy clay, and we recently had a tornado and severe flooding after the tornado. So the plants got battered by some high winds, and then they sat in waterlogged soil for a couple days. We haven't had rain in 3 days, and you can still see that the soil is very, very wet. And I tried to pull back the wood chip mulch so that the soil could dry out here, but it's too late. But what's really interesting is that while all these tomatoes are just dropping like flies, some of the peppers don't seem to be affected. And that's surprising because usually peppers are more sensitive to water stress, flood stress, than tomatoes are. Peppers do not like wet feet. Peppers really like warm, dry soils, and we've had cool, wet soils lately. So it's very surprising to see this pepper still alive right next to this dead tomato. Also, peppers and tomatoes are very closely related. They're actually in the same genus. So they share all the same pathogens. So if it were some bacterial or fungal pathogen that were killing this tomato plant that was maybe exacerbated by the waterlogged soil, you would expect that it would also kill the pepper. So I'm really surprised that the peppers are still hanging on when the tomatoes are not. So if anybody knows more about this, like I said, they're in heavy clay soil, and they recently got a lot of flood stress, and it's been cool. So also, these plants were all started in the same seed trays, grown in the same greenhouse, and the same potting mix. So it's not like the tomatoes, came into the ground with some pre-existing infection the peppers didn't have. But my cynical opinion is that the peppers are probably going to die in a few days. They're just taking longer to die than the tomatoes. Pepper is a much slower growing plant. It's got a slower metabolism than a tomato. So maybe it's just going to take longer to die. And maybe in a few days this pepper will look just as bad as this tomato. But if anybody knows anything about this, has any reason why the peppers might be surviving while the tomatoes are not, please let me know.